Facebook so it'll let me post.
Hello, everybody. This is Rachel Archelaus, and I'm here with Nicole Holland. Yes, and this is the Intuitive Art Show, and today we're just going to have a great conversation with Nicole. She just released her new podcast, one of the new ventures in her amazing brand, revolving around business building Rockstars, which is so cool. And I've really been impressed with her and the quality of the work that she puts out and the thoughtfulness that everything has. And I've been really inspired, so I think you will be too. And the biggest thing that I've really noticed about her is that she goes really big, like mega big. I don't think she's afraid to talk to anybody or ask anybody to be a part of her thing. And if she is, she deals with it really well. And so a lot of you, like so many of my, I don't know what you would want to call yourself. People who are following me are really big people. They have big missions. They've got big energy. If they try to create small, it just doesn't work. And so I want to give you a model of Nicole who does create big. And so you can see maybe what it's like, what it looks like. We'll ask her how she does it, if there's any mindset challenges. And so I also have a little surprise for her. I did a drawing for her about what her podcast can teach people, because she's really celebrating the launch of that this week. And so we'll get into all of that. So if you want to do a drawing for Nicole too, to congratulate her on her new release, then definitely do a drawing and post it in the Facebook group. I'll show her where that is once we get some stuff in there. And yeah, so if you have a question and you're here live, then put it in the chat. I believe it's on the right-hand side, wherever you are, if you're on the blog or you're on Blab. And yeah, without further ado, here's Nicole Holland.
Hello.
Awesome. So, Nicole, why don't you tell us about what you're doing this week? I mean, I know you're very busy, so thanks for being here, first of all.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be in your hot seat. My chair's so squeaky. I'm sorry if you can hear this. So Rachel, you were my guest, one of my rock stars on the Business Building Rockstar Summit, the very first one, which was back in November. And that's an annual summit where I bring together 30 experts from all over the world to talk about their favorite marketing strategies. And then you also just recorded with me an episode of the Business Building Rockstar show, which, as you mentioned, it actually launched yesterday, March 21st, and it's a big long-term endeavor as well. And so I can't even remember off the top of my head when your episode's coming up. Do you know?
I don't remember, no.
I can find that out while we're on. But yeah, so that's what I'm up to. Oh, and yesterday I also launched a new membership program. That's also a long-term, my new baby, called the Tough Cookies. And that's for people who kind of want to get a deeper dive into my tribe, where we meet 3 times a month and go into different marketing strategies. So once a month, I have a guest expert to talk about a specific strategy and do a workshop style training on that. Once a month, there's a workshop with me based on what everyone in the group kind of wants more of. And then once a month, we do a 90-minute Q&A where you can come and ask me anything, or, hot seat coaching, live coaching, and stuff like that. So plus there's a Facebook group. So yeah, just another way to get connected.
Yeah. So why a podcast?
I really enjoy interviewing people. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it brings a lot of value to my community and beyond. It's also a way for me to grow my reach, right? I mean, my people, they're not going to just come because I will them to. Like they don't know about me. So it's a great opportunity to get myself out to a larger audience of people who may love me.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, I love podcasts. I'm constantly listening to them. And you're a great interviewer. I was like, I know a lot of people said this to you about your summit, but I watched almost every one of them. I mean, it was just so good because you brought out some really good things out of each person. So
I really appreciate it. I'd never done an interview before. So I decided to do the summit. You know, you mentioned fear. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was scary. But I also knew what I wanted. And so like for me, fear is sort of a gauge. I ask myself if fear comes up, and it comes up all the time, is it fear like that I should be afraid for my welfare, or is it fear as in like, this is going to be a stretch? And if it's fear for my welfare, then that's definitely a no. But if it's fear like it's going to be a stretch for me, then I have to assess, is it stretching me in a direction that is for my best interest, or is it stretching me in a way that is not really aligned with what I want to do? And so I have fallen into the trap of stretching in the wrong direction many, many times based on what other people say you should do. And that was sort of why I created the summit, and what I kind of decided, okay, no, I'm going to do this big new brand, and I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it big. And my whole message is you don't have to do what anybody else says. And so it was because I was stretching so many times in directions that just weren't right. And I didn't realize while I was doing, I knew that it didn't feel good, but a lot of times, you know, I would buy into the stories of it's because I just need practice, or because I haven't, you know, because I'm not doing it right, and I need to do this differently and that differently. And it was like, finally I figured out that's all BS. And so I'm going to do things my way. And so anyways, when I'm stretching into a fear, but I'm like, yes, it's something that's it's getting me closer to what I want, then I'll do it. But yeah, I never interviewed anybody before the summit. And so now the summit was 30 interviews, and now I've got like 15 in the bag for the show. So I still, you know, I love the compliments. I'm not going to lie. It's really nice to hear positive feedback, but I have a long way to go. Like just my own internal, like I listen back and I'm like, oh, Nicole, why did you say that? Oh, you know, I want to get better. So just keep following. It's going to be 2016 summit's going to rock.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true for everything. You know, you're not going to be your best when you first start. You have to grow into that. So yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
I really, really, really love what you said about you were stretching in the wrong direction because, you know, that's kind of like the advice you were getting. I'm assuming from like teachers or coaches or mentors. Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
and
there's always people that are going to tell you what you should do, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't just in business. Like, yes, it was in business. So I had taken like a 9-year hiatus from business. I had a coaching practice that I was starting back in, I don't know, the early 2000s. And then I was offered a job, and then one thing led to another. And so for 9 years, I was out of business. I was just working. And I mean, it happened there. It happened in my business before I started working. It's happened since I came back into being an entrepreneur. It happened when I was growing up in school. I mean, it's always happened. So I think there's always people, whether they're your family, they're your friends, they're your colleagues, they're your coaches, they're your employers, whatever. There's always other people who are putting their stuff on you and saying what you should do. And I guess I just kind of had enough, and I was like, that's.
Can you describe that moment? Like, because often when we're not doing what's in alignment, right, it just doesn't work. And we can go in two directions. It's like, okay, I'm a failure. I'm not doing this right. I've just got to try harder. And that can kind of run you into the ground if you let it. Or you can say, oh, this is not working, but it doesn't feel right. So maybe this is not the right path for me. It sounds like you obviously took the second road.
I'm also 40 though. So, you know, like I took lots of roads that were just not my best road. Now, that's not to say I didn't have success in many things in my life. I have. I've done some amazing things, and things have, you know, but it's always a roller coaster. It's like things are great, and then, you know, sometimes you even just with an idea for a program or something, you could go like, hey, this is a great idea. And you can go that way. And then afterwards you're like, I don't know. It seemed right at the moment. So, I mean, there's always, hindsight, but yeah, I definitely feel so aligned and congruent like I never have in my life before, even though in my life I've definitely felt it before, and I've definitely felt on point, and I've felt good. It's like now it's so hard to describe, but it's like coming back to the purpose that I came into this world for. That was really difficult that I've never been able to articulate. And that's one of the reasons that I ask a question on the show that I do is I ask almost everybody what they wanted to be when they grow up, when they were children. And excuse me, my nose is sort of.
Actually, I'll do the same thing. Nose time.
And the reason that I ask that is because what I have found for myself, and also in working with many people, is that more often than not, what we wanted when we were very, very young is what eventually we find our joy and our success in. And it's not the same thing. So I was talking to John Lee Dumas, and he said, I'm going to be an outlier to your hypothesis. And he said when he was a kid, I'm not going to go into it, but he told me what his story, and it's on the show, by the way. But he said when he was a kid, he did not want to be what he is doing now. And I challenged him and I said, yes, you're telling me right now what you wanted when you were a kid is what you're doing now. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And that's, so when I was very, very young, I always wanted to be an actress. Like, I'm not acting now. I'm so not acting now. In fact, I'm like more myself publicly than I ever have been before. But it's the essence of that. So what was acting going to bring me? It was going to bring me in front of an audience. I loved making people laugh. I loved giving people entertainment. And in essence, that's something that I'm now. If you would have asked me a year ago if I was going to be podcasting or even on video on like internet, hell no.
That's
like it was
funny.
just not, it wasn't anything that I could have ever imagined doing. But as things evolve and I'm getting closer and closer back to what I always wanted as a child. And again, it's not the thing that I'm doing. It's not like I want to be an actress. It's not that. It's the feeling that I wanted to have. And now I'm finding more and more opportunities for having that feeling and having experiences. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it totally does. Yeah. And I can see myself when I was younger, I was playing teacher and student with my friend. We had little worksheets, and we'd hand them back and forth. And there's also times when we would play like pretend office, and I'd be like having a fake conversation on the phone with people. And it's totally right on. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to hear that story about John too.
And he is the 13th episode, and it's going to be on the 13th of April, I think.
Cool.
I think it's April 13th. It's funny you say that because as you say that, now I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember playing like that too. And it's funny because all these interviews that bring stuff up when we start talking about childhood, AJ Amex, who's going to be episode 6, his is airing on Monday. It's a phenomenal interview. I highly recommend people check it out. But he was talking about buying and selling candy. And I totally had forgotten that when I was a kid, I was totally doing that. My dad used to take me to this warehouse in Baltimore where we would buy like the candy, like they buy, for the 7-Eleven or whatever. And I would sell the candy. And I totally had forgotten about that until he mentioned it. So it's really fun too, in that respect, to hear people's, what they wanted as kids, what they did as kids. And it like triggers other people to go, oh my gosh, yes, I remember that.
That's so funny. I love that. So in talking about going big, like it seems like when you have an idea, you're like, okay, how can I make this the biggest, best, most beautiful thing it can possibly be? Your branding is always great. Everything's always beautiful. It's streamlined. It's user-friendly. And I know you were studied podcasting with John Lee Dumas, right? And he's probably like the guy to go to for podcasting. So what gives you the confidence to go big and bold right away?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you say I always go big, but I don't feel like that. I appreciate that, but I don't feel like that. I get as guided as possible through intuition. And it's like, I think what seems big to people is when I'm just so sure, like when I do something that I'm not 100% on, maybe it comes off as not as bold or as strong or as big because I'm not there. But like, I know this is what I want to do. I knew like when I got that clarity, it was so clear. And so when I decided, okay, I am rebranding everything and I am going to start fresh with the summit, and then everything that comes from there is going to be on brand because that's where I'm at right now. In 5 years, maybe it'll be different, maybe it'll be different in 1 year. Who knows? I don't expect that, to be completely honest, because I'm so clear. But yeah, I think that's what it is. It was just this real this clarity that and again, it's perception. I mean, to you, it looks like everything's great. And I appreciate that so much, so much. And I love all the compliments, no lie. I appreciate the compliments. And at the same time, I see a lot of things that I did where I was like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. And rather than getting really down on myself, I'm not a perfectionist at all. If I was, none of this ever would have happened. But I can go, okay, here's what I want. And this is how far I can go. And this is what I can accomplish with the resources that I have, or with my knowledge, my skills, ability. This is where I'm at right now. So, okay, awesome. Next time I'm going to do this. And I actually just participated in Gina Gabellini's launch of her annual program called Profit Quest. And, I said to her before the end, I was like, oh, I can't, right at the end, I said, I can't wait till Profit Quest 2017. She's like, I forget what she said, but it was something like, it's okay, you can still do it this year. And I'm like, yeah, but next year I'm going to do this. So it was when we were still in the middle of it. So I'm always looking at, okay, here's what I can do now, and knowing, oh, next time I'm going to do this differently. And so I'm long-term strategy, I think, is really important in doing something big. If you're looking at it as a one-time effort, then I don't know, you're looking at it as one-time effort. But I'm always trying to look at, okay, this is a step towards that next thing that I want.
So you're actually building rather than just kind of making random offers or creating random things.
Absolutely. Everything's connected. And even if I do like a random, for example, I did social media success strategy workshop, and I enjoy it. Like, I like helping people with their social media strategy, but it's not something that is like, it's not something that I love. It's not like my essence, and it's something that, yes, it can be now. I've created an evergreen program, and it's something that there's a great value from, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, I want to be known for this. No, I want to be known for the business building Rockstar brand. I want to be known for the summit and the podcast. I want to be known as the person who is bringing together experts from all over the place and pulling out those little nuggets of wisdom to help my people, succeed faster and easier.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that goes to like my big question, and in the fact that like a lot of people, they don't really pay attention to like the looks of things, or they don't really ask the people they really want to ask to be part of stuff. And so I think when you are looking to create things to be part of an overall brand or part of your overall business over time, I think that goes with that.
And I think
that's really cool.
Like, I've played small. I've played small a lot. And even with the summit, I had been out of business for 9 years and nobody knew who I was. I had zero online presence when I decided to quit my job without anything. Like, I didn't tiptoe in. I just done. And I do not recommend that. I don't. But when I did, I had 260 friends on Facebook. And they were people that actually knew me. And most people that actually knew me, I didn't have on Facebook. I had 0 on Twitter. I had 0 anywhere else. And so, you know, I went from, and then the influencers, including you, who I invited, you didn't know me. So I had to just, it was a stretch. There were some people that, yes, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask this person, even though I'm like, I'm afraid. And like, now I go, what the hell was I afraid of? Of them saying no? Like, what happens if they say no? Oh, well, you know, no big deal. But at the time I was like, oh, I don't know, you know, I'm not good enough, but I'm doing it anyway. So I think we're always going on this like steps up. And now I'm like, I'm totally good enough. And if they say no, that's totally cool. And if I really want them, I'm going to go back to them again and again and again, because I'm doing something long term. Whereas, one of the things that I did in that playing small kind of thing was I looked at it almost like, you're doing me a favor, you know, and there was some concessions I needed to make, because I was like, nobody knows who I am. But I was walking a fine line of, you're doing me a favor versus but you're doing me a favor and I'm building something big. So next year, you know, there's that thing again. Next year, you're going to know my name. Next year, you're going to know that the Business Building Rockstar Summit rocks. But right now, you don't know. And so I went in with some people like in that mindset of, you're doing me a favor. And then some people, I started like building my confidence and really owning what I was doing. So I would say, like, going back in hindsight's 2020, if I had to give myself, you know, some advice, I would say, don't play that game. Like, just don't play that game. Because yes, the people are giving you some of their time, and, you know, you may not have an audience, but it's got to be an equal energetic exchange. Like, you need to only find, this was it, okay? You only need to find people who want to support you because they want to support you, and not for any other reason. That's the difference. And that's what I'm looking for now. You know, I've had people through the show and the summit and different things where people are like, well, what's your audience number? And, well, what are you going to do for me, kind of thing. And I think now, like, screw you, you know, I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm inviting you on my show, or I'm inviting you on my summit. Do you want to come or not? Because what I've found is, and what I didn't realize before, was the people who made conditions and the people who were not as willing to come on and wanted me to do a dance for them, they were not my people. They didn't speak to my audience, and they're like, it was a tough interview. It wasn't fun. It wasn't easy. There wasn't good flow. Whereas when I have somebody who has similar values and similar, interests, or, you know, they're just good people, it's so easy and it's so much fun, and people get huge value out of it. So
that's awesome. Very good. Thanks. All right. Well, 26 minutes in.
I know, I'm like, blah, blab. That's what it's called, right? Blah, blah,
it's
blah.
blab, exactly. So I want to show you your drawing. So the question I asked was, what will Nicole's podcast teach people? And I haven't really like looked at it yet to decode, but it's really pretty. It kind of reminds me of Easter, which is coming up.
My hair matches my hair.
It does. So I'll decode it for you guys. So the first thing that I see is all this blue, and it's kind of cool. Like, it makes an X here, and there are swirls, and you know, kind of like an egg shape. And to me, that says that the podcast is going to be healing. They're going to learn something from you that's going to heal something. And I think what you just said about confidence and kind of equal exchange is very healing for people to know too. Because, you know, like you said, when you're going into something, you're often really scared, even if for no reason, but you are. And going through it and doing it anyway is really healing. So then this is such a great thing. This color pink is all about wealth. So building a business, you're hoping to build some wealth too. So you're going to teach people how to do that. And there's purple and like an off-white color up here, which is all about spirituality and contentment. So what I see this as being is more like alignment. So you're aligning to your own values, your own kind of spiritual compass, and it feels good. It feels really content when we're in that zone. And so it's kind of like that's the overall message coming down. And then this green is about expression. So we're expressing ourselves in business no matter what you're doing. You know, if you're showing up each day, you're expressing some part of you. And then the yellow is joy. So it's pretty awesome. So you've got a base of joy. You've got all this healing and expression and wealth, which is fantastic for me. And then up here is alignment. So yay. So definitely listen to Nicole's podcast, the Business Building Rockstar Show, because this is a fine drawing.
And Rachel, your episode is number 10, and it will be airing on April 6th.
Oh, that's my birthday.
Oh my gosh. How
That's
fun.
so cool.
Yay.
Talk about spiritual alignment, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. I don't know if we planned that, did we?
No, not at all.
I don't think so.
No, my assistant actually scheduled it, and then I think she sent you an email. She should have sent you an email, but yeah, no,
Maybe.
Let me just double check to make sure it's perfect. Yes, it's the 10th episode on Wednesday, April 6th. It's airing.
Cool. So if you guys are on Blab or looking on the blog post right now, there's this other video, or it's not a video, this box below me and Nicole, and it says Business Building Rockstars Show. If you click on that, I believe it'll go to her podcast show. So you don't even have to look around for the link. You could just click on that and take a look. You already have 3 episodes up, I saw, right?
Yeah, and tonight at midnight Eastern, the 4th one is going up. So yesterday was the launch, and so for that we put out 3 episodes, and then normally it's going to be every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 each time, and I release them at midnight Eastern Standard Time, so, or Eastern Daylight Time, I guess right now it is, but and they're always available at midnight on my show website. It seems like for iTunes and Stitcher, it might come out a little bit later, but usually within the hour or so. So yeah, and if you wanted to subscribe on iTunes, then you'll just get it automatically, and that'll definitely help me as well.
Cool. Do you know if you're on Pocket Cast?
No,
Okay.
not to my knowledge.
I don't know if it's a special like sign up to get in there, you know, like Stitcher and iTunes, but if you can, go into Pocket Cast, because that's what I use.
Okay.
It's kind of like iTunes for Android people, so that they can download them on their phone and then they don't have to use data to stream it when they're out.
Copy. I will check that out. And some of those places, I'm not sure if Pocket Cast is one. I will check. I recognize the name, but I'm not 100% sure. Some of the things are actually like they pull from iTunes or Stitcher. They pull from the different platforms. Mm-hmm. And then I've got it. It's going to come up on Google Play once they have their music or their shows and music and stuff out. So
cool.
But yeah.
So what has the hardest thing been for you in getting this together?
Just time, I guess. Like, and I can't even say not knowing, because I'm somebody who's really resourceful, and I just don't believe in not knowing. I believe in not knowing. I don't believe in letting that stop me. So like, I didn't know how to do a podcast, but I knew I wanted to do podcasting. So I invested in John Lee Dumas's Podcaster's Paradise, because why would I get anything else? Like, I really respect him. I think he's great. And I was so blown away by how much content is in Podcaster's Paradise. It's insane. Like I haven't even gone through all of it. There's just no way. So just knowing that I will find the resources that I need when I need them makes things not so hard. Audacity has been a bit of, it hasn't been one of my favorite things to learn, but you know, it's like, well, I'm going to learn it. I outsourced some stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Hardest thing, just time. I'm having so much fun that really, like, if I could do this all the time and not have to do anything else, I totally would.
Mm-hmm.
But other
That's
things
cool.
still need to get done too. So
yeah, 3 a week is a lot.
it is a lot.
Especially the way you're doing it, because you're recording the interview and then you're recording the intro and the outro.
Yep.
And putting them together. Yeah, that's a lot of
and then putting them all on video and then putting up. So they're also on YouTube. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, some people are doing video, some people are not. So like you and I, we did video. The people who are not, it's still going on YouTube, just with a picture instead.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So did you do the iTunes video as well? No.
Nah.
I haven't really looked into that, but I'm a video gal, so I think I don't know. There's just, the world is so big now, you know, it's hard to keep up with everything. But
I was thinking about using Blab to record sometimes, but then I decided not to. I might do like bonus episodes later on with Blab and stuff, but frankly, I'm just like today's my recording today, and it's boom, boom. In fact, next week's going to be the biggest one. I had a cancellation today, and then with this, it kind of gave me a break to actually be recorded rather than, you know. But next week I have 8 in a row, and then I get a break for an hour, and then my last one is at 10 p.m. my time with somebody in India. And then I have somebody in Israel who wasn't able to make it on the Tuesday. So we're doing it then the next day. So that's next week's going to be my longest day so far.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Usually I do like 6 a day, 5 or 6 a day. But.
Wow. Well, go you.
Yeah.
And so if you ever doubt yourself about this whole going big thing, then just remember what you just said. So. But you definitely are.
But I'm big on systems. So like for me, it makes my life so much easier, because what I learned during the Business Building Rockstar Summit was I was recording. And again, it goes to that kind of small-minded thinking where I'm like, you're doing me a favor, so I want to bend over backwards to make it as easy as possible for you. And I was making my life insane, because I would have like every day I would have somebody I was interviewing or not. And at that time, my setup was different. So I had to like move my desktop every time. I was moving furniture. It was crazy. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So now I've got it very clear that I do all my recording on Tuesdays. So I'll go through and boom, 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 boom. And yes, it's a long day, and it's exhausting sometimes, but it's one day. So then I know the next day I can do the intros and outros. I can do with my clients, I can work with them on other days. I can do content creation. And, the worst for me is emails. That's the thing that takes me the most energy and effort and the most difficult. So unfortunately, I'm very aware that my list doesn't get as much email love from me as I would love for them to. But yeah, like I try as long as I keep it on Tuesdays, it's actually not difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, awesome for finding what works.
Thank y'all.
And I know we've got to let you go. Why don't you give us the link to anywhere you want to send us?
bbrshow.com, bbrshow.com is the best place to go. And on the homepage there, I've got links to iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube. So you can go to any of those things right from there. Also on bbrshow.com is the show notes. So each episode has its own show notes page, and the player is embedded right there. So even if you don't want to go to iTunes or Stitcher or anything else, you can go right to my website and just go to that show that you want to see and play it right from the website.
Beautiful. And on theintuitiveart.com, I have all 3 links to subscribe to you as well. Yeah, so I'm really, really, really excited to listen. I'm going out actually after this. I will probably listen to one in the car. So congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Thanks for hanging out with us and giving us your kind of an inside look into how this was created and what you've got going on.
My pleasure, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, anytime. Come on back.
Awesome.
All right.
And thank you for the drawing. It's awesome too.
You're welcome. All right.
Bye.
Bye. So guys, thank you so much for watching and being with us. If you want to learn about intuitive art, just head on over to intuitiveart.com. You can take a free class on how to talk to your higher self. And why would you want to do that, right? Well, if you think of your higher self as the part of you that is like sitting on top of a mountain, right? It can see through time and space. It can see your past, your future, your present. It can see everything that you want, everything that you don't want. It knows you intimately, and it's always connected to source. That's a pretty powerful ally. So when you're best friends with your higher self, you can ask that version of you which way to turn, how to heal yourself, how to heal relationships. You can ask what you've got to offer the world, what the best marketing technique is for you, anything you want. I use intuitive art for business advice. I've got things plastered all over my walls as reminders, and soul gifts and business plans and all sorts of things. And even with like Nicole's drawing, it's all about what her podcast can teach people. And it really, you would never think that a podcast would be as healing as it is, but there you go, lots of healing colors. So it's just such a great modality. It's simple to learn. And in that free class, you'll learn the 3 easy steps in under 90 minutes, and you can use it for the rest of your life. We also have more in-depth training if you want to help others with this, if you want to really turn your purpose into a reality and you want a guided, step-by-step plan to do that with intuitive art. We've got that too. So just go to intuitiveart.com. Check out what you want to check out, and we'll be there for you. So thank you so much for watching this intuitive art show, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.